everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we are making number 11 granny square of our 365 days of granny squares. The supplies we are going to need obviously are just scrap yarn. I'm using all red heart yarn today. I'm using dark orchid, this egg blue, Aran, this is dark turquoise. I'm not exactly sure what specific color this is, it's just a scrap, and then heather gray. And for all of our granny squares we are using a 5mm crochet hook, so make sure that you have an H size hook handy, because for all 365 granny squares we are using the H size hook, which is 5mm. Also make sure you have a scissors and a yarn needle for cutting our yarn and sewing in our ends. I've been getting questions about the scissors I've been using in all my videos. This is one for arthritic hands, which is nice because it has that nice spring in there. And these are Fiskars scissors. I got these at the fabric shop. I got these specifically at Joann's, so if you want to get something similar to this, these are really handy. I really like these scissors. But without further ado, before we get started, I do want to mention, check out all the links in the description of this video down there. You can see all the links to the blog where you can find out where to get all the squares, the pattern, or not the patterns, but the videos for these projects. Also, there's a link to my Facebook. Join me on Facebook and join me by liking my page and sharing my page, and share your photos on the page too and get inspiration from other crocheters as well. Make sure to check out my Instagram. I'll put a link to my Instagram down there too in the description so you can follow me there. And if you post photos on Instagram, be sure to hashtag YARNutopia. And also for this specific project, for these squares, make sure to hashtag 365 days of granny squares so that I can see all of your squares and your progression. I'm loving the photos. We have so many people joining in on this project, which is so much fun to see all of your fabulous work. Also follow me on Snapchat so you can see behind the scenes clips of what I like to do on my free time when I'm crocheting or when I'm not. I mainly just post food photos so you can get hungry. But then also subscribe to my channel here on YouTube so you can get notifications on when I put new videos out. I'm gonna put one out every single day this year for these granny squares, so you'll get the notification on when those are released. Lastly, I do want to thank our videographer and editor of this video, Fuad Azmat, for taking the time out to make this with us. Thanks, Dad. So let's get started on making number 11 granny square. Okay, to start off we have to make a slip knot, so put the short end over the long end like that, then fold that down and pull that through and pull tight. Insert your hook and we're ready to go. To start off we want to chain 6, so yarn over, pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then we want to go in that very first chain here and make a slip stitch to form a ring. So insert your hook in that first chain, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. So now we have formed a ring, and now we want to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. That's going to count as our first double crochet of this round. And we want to put 15 double crochets in this circle here for a total of 16 double crochets, because this chain up 3 counts as our first stitch. So we have to make 15 double crochets. So yarn over, go into that circle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So there's 1. Yarn over, go back into that circle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That's 2. So just continue working 15 double crochets in here. So that's 3, 4, 5, and like I said, that chain up 3 counts as a stitch, so in the end you will have a total of 16 double crochets, because that chain up 3 counts as our first. So you want to make sure you have a total of 16 here. So I'm going to count my chain up 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. There we go. So if you have to count back 16, which your 16th or your first one is this chain up 3 here. So count 1, 2, 3, and we're going to slip stitch to our beginning here. So insert your hook in the top of that chain 3, yarn over, pull through, and pull through for a slip stitch. Now you did notice that I did crochet over the top of my straggler here. Okay, so that's sewn in, and I can just safely trim that. Otherwise you'll have to sew that in later. But now we're ready to go on to round 2. Now if you are not changing color, just chain 5 and go on to round 2 with us. But if you are changing color, just chain up 1, cut your yarn, pull that all the way through, pull tight, insert your hook into any double crochet around. I'm just going to insert it right back into that chain up 3. And grab your new color here. And I like to just fold this in half a little bit, like loop it around my hand like that, insert my hook, and then pull that through to attach. There we go. And now we want to chain up 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. So chain up 5, and that is going to count as our first double crochet, which is this chain up 3, and then a chain 2. Okay, so we're gonna put a double crochet into, let's see here, 1, 2, double crochet in the next stitch, and then chain 2, and then repeat that around. So yarn over, go into the very next stitch. Okay, so we're done working in this chain up 3, so we're going to jump over to this next double crochet here, and we are going to yarn over, go in there for a double crochet. Then we're going to chain 2, so yarn over, pull through 1 and 2, and then we're going to just repeat that. So go into the next stitch for a double crochet, and then chain 2, and then the next stitch for a double crochet and a chain 2, double crochet in the next stitch, and then chain 2. It's so simple. So just do that. At the end of this round you'll still have your 16 double crochets, then you'll have your chain 2 spaces created. So I'm going to do that all the way around, and I'll meet you up to go on to round 3 together. Alright, so I just came back around. Make sure at the end here you chain 2, and then we are going to slip stitch to the third chain of our chain 5 here. So if you want to just count 1, 2, 3 and go into this third chain here, yarn over, pull through, and pull tight. Now at this point for going on to round 3, if you are not changing color, what you want to do is slip stitch into this previous chain 2 space, not into the next chain 2 space, in the previous. So just insert your hook in the previous chain 2 space, yarn over, pull through, and then chain up 3 and go on to round 3 together. But I'm going to change color, so I'm going to just chain 1 at this point, cut my yarn and pull it through, pull tight. I'm going to insert my hook into this chain 2 space, or basically any chain 2 space, but I'm going to insert it into here. For those who are not changing color, we'll be in the same chain 2 space together. And I'm going to grab my new yarn color, hook that on, and then chain up 3. 1, 2, 3, which counts as our first double crochet of this round. And now we want to put one more double crochet into that same space. So yarn over, go into that same space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, just like that. Now we are going to chain 1, and we are going to put 2 double crochets into the next chain 2 space. So yarn over, go into there, do a double crochet, and then another double crochet. So put 2 double crochets in this next chain 2 space. Then we are going to chain 1, and go into the next chain 2 space for 2 double crochets. Then we are going to chain 1 and go into the next chain 2 space for 2 double crochets. But now, after this one, we are going to chain 1, but in this space here, we are going to create our corner. And to do that, we are going to put 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets all in the same chain 2 space. So put 2 double crochet, 1 and 2, chain 1, and 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Okay, and then we're basically just going to repeat, so put a chain 1 and then put 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space, then chain 1, put 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space, and chain 1, put 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space, then chain 1, and we're at our next corner, so we're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 2 double crochets in that same chain 2 space. Just like that. Okay, then chain 1 and repeat. So put 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space, then chain 1, 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space, then chain 1, 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space, chain 1, and we're at our next corner here, so we're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. Okay, so I'm just going to finish up this round and I'll show you how to go on to the next round together. Alright, when you come back around here in this first space here, we need to still make our corner. We have to finish off our last corner here. So make sure you chain 1, then put 2 double crochets in here, and then chain 1, and then slip stitch to your chain up 3 here. So 1, 2, 3, right there, and slip stitch in there. Okay, perfect. Now at this point, going on to round 4, if you are not changing color, just chain up 1 and go on to round 4 with us. But if you are changing color, chain 1, cut your yarn, pull that through, and then insert your hook back into the corner, into the chain 1 of the corner, right here. Okay, grab your new color, and pull that through, and chain up 1. Okay, so now we are going to put a single crochet into that same corner stitch, or that same corner space right there. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Whoops. Pull through 2 loops. There we go. That is our first single crochet. Then we are going to, let's see here, chain 2. So 1 and 2, skip over to this next chain 1 space and put a single crochet in there. Then do that to the next corner. So chain 2, go into the next space here, this next chain 1 space, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Chain 2, 1 and 2, go into the next space for a single crochet. And again, chain 2, go into the next space for a single crochet. Chain 2, 1 and 2, and now we are in our corner here. So we are going to put a single crochet, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go back in that same corner for a single crochet. Okay, so we just made our corner there. And then chain 2, 1 and 2, skip over to the next space here. We're working on the side now, so just put a single crochet in there, chain 2, skip over to this next space for a single crochet, chain 2, skip over to this next chain 1 space for a single crochet, chain 2, next space, single crochet, chain 2, and now we're in our corner. So we're going to put a single crochet, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and go back into that same space there for another single crochet. Then chain 2, and work your repeat all the way around, just like so. This is a very simple round number 4. And so I am going to finish that. Just repeat doing your chaining and your single crochets. Make sure in your corners to put a single crochet, chain 4, and a single crochet in your corners, and chain 2 and work single crochets into the spaces. So, oh, you know what? I'm actually almost done, so you can just stick with me and we can go on to the next round together. Okay, so once you get back to this corner here, we still have to put our single crochet in there, then chain 4, and then slip stitch to the beginning single crochet of this round. Okay, just like that. So now you can see it's starting to give its shape. So now, let's see, let's go on to round 5. And at this point, if you are not changing color, go back into this chain 4 space and go right into it, yarn over, pull through and through, okay, and then chain up 3 and go on to round 5 with all of us. But if you are changing color, just chain up 1 at this point, cut your yarn, pull it all the way through, pull tight, and then insert your hook into that chain 4 space. Grab your last color here, hook it on your hook, and we want to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we want to put a double crochet into that same corner space here. So yarn over, go into that same corner space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then we want to chain 1 and jump to the chain 2 space, and we want to put 2 double crochets into the chain 2 space. So go in for 2 double crochets. Okay, then we want to chain 1 and put 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space. Then chain 1, 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space. Chain 1, 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space. Chain 1, 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space, and now chain 1, and now we're at our corner, and in every corner we're going to put 2 double crochets, 1, 2, then chain 2, 1, 2, and then 2 more double crochets in the corner, 1 and 2. So it's 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, then chain 1, and work 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space here, then chain 1, skip over to the next space, chain space there, put 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space. So we're basically just putting 2 double crochets in each chain 2 space, chain 1 in between them. Then once you get to the corners, we have to chain 1, go into the corner for 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. It's that simple. This was a very, very simple pattern for this square. So I'm just going to work that all the way around, and I'll meet you up when we're completing our square. Okay, when you're finishing round 5 here, make sure you chain 1, and then we're back in the corner here. So we're going to put 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, then chain your 2 there, and then since we already have these 2 here, they're our chain up 3 from the beginning and our first double crochet, we are going to slip stitch to our chain 3. So count 1, 2, 3, insert your hook into the top of the chain 3, yarn over, pull through, and through. and pull tight. And then to fasten off, we're just going to chain 1, cut our yarn, pull that all the way through and pull tight, and make sure to sew in your ends. I'll show you how I sew in mine. I just take my yarn needle, go in the back here, go underneath some of the stitches, inside of some of the stitches, just hide them. So easy. Just hide them, sew them in, and I'll sew in this one too. If you change color, you know, you'll have quite a few to sew in, which I've been sewing mine in off camera here, but I'll show you how I sew in. I've just been sewing them in just like this, and then if you have extra, make sure that you trim those. And then you can manipulate your square to make it look like a square. Just like that. And our square is complete. You can decide to block this if you know how to do blocking, but it keeps its shape pretty well. And there we have it, our lovely square, number 11 done of our 365 days of granny squares. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out the links in the description of this video. I'll have the link to the blog post where you can find all 365 days of granny squares. If you click the photo, it will take you to the video for this the pattern, and make sure to check out the links. Also, there will be a link to my Facebook page, so make sure you check out my Facebook, join me there, like my page, and you can get inspiration from other crocheters as well. Everybody's been posting their photos online on Facebook. And also check out the link to my Instagram. Make sure to check out my Instagram, follow me, and if you post photos on Instagram or any social media, make sure to hashtag YARNutopia so that I can see your photos. And for this project specifically, be sure to hashtag 365 days of granny squares so that I can see your granny squares and your progression in the granny square project. Also, check out my Snapchat. You make sure to follow me on Snapchat. If you have a smartphone, you can follow me there and see behind the scenes clips of what I do on my free time when I'm not crocheting or when I am. And be sure to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. You can get notifications on when I put new videos out, so you'll get a notification every single day for these granny squares, so you can be the first VIP notification to get these granny squares and make yours right away. So thank you so much for watching. Happy hooking!